Oh!
Now, young Backspin, you will die.
Oh! Ouch. If only I had my lightsaber.
Hello, and welcome back to the VHS Tapes podcast. This was initially going to be a season 5 episode, but we recorded this at the end of summer last year, and this one's fan was running. So every time I would go, blah, 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 I like this part of the movie or whatever, suddenly he would go like, yeah.
Noise cancellation didn't work, I guess.
Not at all.
Actually, I specifically turned it off because I was afraid you wouldn't hear me. Oops. Oops. Yeah, what if it's on now? Oh! Ouch!
But anyway, deleted scene that I wish was in the movie was at the start. They load Luke finishes building his new lightsaber and loads it into R2 for, later use. It still does work in the movie with it being like a total surprise, like, oh, he's got a new lightsaber and it's green. Like for that when that came out, that was the first time we had seen a third lightsaber color. Before that, you had blue and red. That was it. And so that was that. That being said, the only reason it was green is because they initially animated it blue, and it didn't show up very well against the desert background with the technology they had back then. So they were like, how about we make it green? So that is the reason for the green color within our universe. Similarly, I probably said it way back in that really short Attack of the Clones episode. The only reason we have a purple lightsaber color in, in universe Star Wars, it's a special crystal. But in reality, it was just because Samuel L. Jackson was like, "Yo, could I have a purple lightsaber so I can spot myself amongst everybody?" And they were like, "Yeah, I guess." Then there's like, they had to go make a whole lore reason why it was purple. Which, well, it was cool. And as far as other colors, we also got orange, which the first time we see that, I think, in canon was the Ahsoka show. And then we also have yellow, which was first seen, I don't know if it was first seen in Clone Wars, but it was definitely Rebels in like a flashback. And then also the last movie, Rise of Skywalker, there's a yellow one at the end. But anyway, that's for another time.
Super lore.
Yes. Anyway. Oh, you turd. I don't know what to say now.
Well, episode 6 of Fabulous movie. We got this dark cloaked man. He walks into this hut. No, not a hut, a palace, right? And there's this big worm dude, and he's like, boom, 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 boom. And he's got this woman, and the Luke's like, I gotta save the woman. So, he gets thrown in. I don't remember how it happens. He gets thrown down in a basement or something, not a basement, like a dungeon. But I don't remember what happened. Like, he pulled a lever, and he's forced to fight, the Rancor or whatever. He fights it. Then Leia chokes. Well, that's the woman. Spoiler. Chokes the worm dude. He dies fabulously. They all fly away. That's the first act in a nutshell. Then the second act. Is this the movie where he finds out it's his sister? Or is that the last one?
No, this was the last one.
I'm at the one before it.
No. The last one is when they kissed.
Oh, poop. Okay. So he finds out his sister, and Ben Kenobi's like, yes,
From what I understand about that is initially it was going to be this completely other character, And then they were like, you know what? Instead of getting another actress, how about we just go and make it Leia? And at some point, I guess somebody was like, but wait, they kissed in the last movie, and they were like, well, shit, we already filmed this. Oh well. And we never talk about it again.
But then after that, Ben's like, he's like, they're still good in Darth Vader. That's not what Ben said. That's what Luke said, or something. It's really foggy. I didn't see the movie. Well, I did see the movie. I've seen it many times. I just can't remember it at this moment in time. But essentially, the idea is that Luke is trying to prove that Darth Vader is still a good guy. So he goes through all this garbage to try to do it, up to the point where he's out here laying on the ground being killed to death. And then Vader's like, I think I just skipped a whole butt ton of the movie. This is at the end.
Yeah, it's fun.
But anyway, Vader sees that his child, his son, whatever's left of Padme is out there dying. He's like, I gotta save him. So I think in the original cut, he doesn't say anything. He just kind of silently goes over there.
In the original
and throws
one,
him out.
He looks back and forth a little bit, and then he just goes, just throws him. Doesn't make a noise.
Because he gave me like a what's the word? I thought I had imagined that he had said nothing at first, because when I'd seen it like maybe second, third time, I heard him yell out no. I'm like, oh, did he always do that? I don't remember.
That was a special edition change after Revenge of the Sith came out, because that is just the same sound clip of him coming off of the table going, no. When he's
a lot of people don't like
died.
That from what how I've understood it.
We got enough emotion from just a helmet just going.
Yeah, you could see his internal conflict just from pure silence.
Yeah. Also, I'm having a bit of lag spikes here and there. I hope that's not showing up in the video, but it probably is. If I'm seeing it, it's probably happening there. Where is my...
Well, that's the end of the movie. Let's get to the middle of the movie. So the middle of the movie, the Emperor he's out there trying to kill all the rebels because they're on this moon with all these little furry creatures. And they're out there fighting, little teddy bears out there taking on the Empire. But the Death Star is floating out there, and the shield generator is stopping it from blowing the planet up. So the Empire wants to turn it off so they can blow it up. Is that what it is?
No. The shield generator is for the Death Star because it's unfinished.
Okay, it's the other way around.
It's deliberately was made unfinished as a trap. But they stupidly let's put a shield generator and not put a shield around the shield generator. And let's put
yes, that's how it was.
10 guys to guard it. That should be enough. And then, Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca, a bunch of rebels, and a whole bunch of Ewoks all attack the thing. They get in there and they just plant a bunch of charges and kaboom.
Meanwhile, Luke is trying to convince Dear Daddy Dearest that he's still got good in him. Vader is convinced that he's just beyond redemption. Then, back to where it was. Luke is dying. His silent confliction, and he's like, bruh, what am I doing? And then he threw the Emperor into a big hole. He obviously died right then and there. There was no more movies. That was the end. That is how the Emperor died. That's how Star Wars ends. There's no more movies. And everyone lived happily ever after. The other things are fever dream.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing. We'll get into it when we get into the other movies, but that is something... Here's the thing. In legends and books, and I guess maybe some comics as well, Palpatine did return in a clone body, a couple clone bodies, because they were deteriorating. They kind of borrowed the theme. And even then, a lot of people were like, this is fucking dumb, because this just defeats the whole all of Anakin's struggle is just completely screwed over. Now, it's different if the villains of the sequel trilogy were some other kind of evil, just other type of Darksiders, that wouldn't have destroyed it, because they they would have been a little bit different. Technically, Kylo isn't a Sith; he's just a dark sider. He's not an actual
He
Sith.
knows the way.
He knows, but he's not like he was.
He knows what it is, but not like his religion. Is it something like that?
He's just a fanboy. But they could have done it better and stuff. But anyway, that's still something for another time.
Just like Luke's lightsaber.
Yes. That being said, there is something this isn't actual canon, but I really wish it was, because it would have been so impactful, in my opinion. So if we go all the way back to the Phantom Menace, I'm going to go off of what I do know. Qui-Gon gets struck down. Obi-Wan comes in, he fights Maul, cuts him in half with Qui-Gon's lightsaber after his own falls down the shaft. And he, for a while, wielded Qui-Gon's lightsaber. That is actually confirmed and stuff and whatever. And eventually he was able, I need to make my own lightsaber, be my own person. I can let this piece of my master go. Now, this is where theory territory goes in, because his lightsaber was likely dismantled at some point if Obi-Wan didn't keep it as a personal memento, and considering he didn't have it on Tatooine, I guess that's not the case. It likely would have been dismantled, the parts recycled for, youngling lightsabers or something, but the crystal may have been kept in this... there's this thing somewhere in the temple, it's an arch made up of crystals of fallen Jedi, or Jedi that have passed away. It's just meant to be a memorial arch of all their crystals, so it's just all various colors in this cool architecture piece. However, what I wish had happened is that Obi-Wan had taken the crystal, maybe made like a necklace or whatever that he wore under his tunic, left it on Tatooine years later, because it would have been so cool if Luke had taken that and been like, this is my only option. Let me make a lightsaber with this. And that meaning that the blade that he wields to free his father was originally the blade carried by the man that freed him from slavery in Tatooine. That would have been such a cool... it would have been kind of a retcon, but it would have been a very good one. But not the case,
but even then, the idea of Qui-Gon wouldn't have existed for, another 25 years, if not 30?
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought we were I thought we went backwards from 6 to 1.
Yes, so I'm saying his crystal removed from the lightsaber after Obi-Wan made his
I'm
first
just saying
one.
Maybe I didn't follow right.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Because I was going by canon of when movies were created.
Yeah, I know. This would have been a retcon because of that.
Yes.
But saying that, I think it would have been a neat thing for them to say that Obi-Wan kept... Because you could say easily he had it underneath his... had it in a necklace underneath this thing. We never see anything there. It's not like he's sitting there, puffing his chest out, showing. It could easily been explained that it was just underneath this tunic, something he kept as a memento. And then he just, left it in a box on Tatooine. Because, especially, because of Jedi Fallen Order, we know that the planet Ilum, where they get the crystals, was taken over. And they can't really go there. So the idea that he would have been like, I'll need to leave this for Luke if he needs to make a lightsaber. First, he gave him the blue one, but, as a backup. Eventually, he might have needed a new one. But I think it would have been a really cool touch. But it is unfortunately not the case. Likely what happened is his lightsaber, number one, was either kept in Obi-Wan's quarters, and during Order 66, they rounded up all, lightsabers and they tossed them into a furnace and melted them down. So if that's the case, or the memorial arch thing, they would have destroyed that too. So, unfortunately, his crystal is gone. But, if anybody else buys Star Wars in the future, I'd like royalties for this idea.
We can buy it pretty cheap, apparently. Cheap, $4 billion. But even then, even at the time, what the show has it been 10 years since they bought it, or is it longer than that now?
A little bit
It's longer than that.
I think they got it in like 2011, 2012 or so.
Yes.
And it was a couple years before The Force Awakens came out.
And Star Wars itself would have been like, what, 50 years old? 40 something?
Star Wars will be 50 years old next year.
I see. But even then, like as popular as it was, is this unpopular opinion times? $4 billion is pretty cheap, considering how big that franchise was even at the time.
I mean, for everything they got, I guess, because you got the rights to the 6 mainline
toys,
movies,
music, the people, the characters.
You got all the shows that were available that were out at the time. Because they picked. This
includes books too.
They picked up the Clone Wars. I think it initially got canceled when they were like during the takeover because they were like, we don't know how to take this over. I could be wrong about that, but they did eventually come back.
I remember seeing the unfinished episodes where they were just like T-pose and just walking around, and when they fight, they just
Yeah,
it's funny.
Some people did animations for those to like actually finish it. But then they did make season 7, which had like some really good stuff. We had Ahsoka versus Maul, and the Bad Batch was introduced, and good stuff. The Bad Batch was a fantastic show too. As much as I'd like to cover all of those, that we don't get the fucking
it's
time.
It's a story for a different time.
Maybe in the next podcast in the future,
just like in the episode 7.
But yeah. Anyways, good movie, whatever. Yeah, it was good. The lightsaber duel was pretty. Like it's still one
by
of the
this
older
point
ones,
they've fine-tuned their ancient film style of fighting. No more standing still. Even episode 5 wasn't too terrible. I was actually able to move in that one.
Yeah. Well, even then, they picked it up a bit. Also,
it was the OG movie 72, ain't it? Or is it 78? It's 78.
77.
77. Even then, for the time, it's still pretty impressive just to see these two sticks.
At the same time, it was 2 old guys.
This is at 4. Episode 6 was not 77. That was 81, I think. Somewhere around there. Early 80s. Is it 83?
Yeah. But yeah. Good stuff. And eventually we'll get to 7, 8, and 9. It'll be okay, Pax.
Personally, I was okay with 7, but F8 and 9, they started going down.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get to the opinions on that. For now, get down to the shaft.
What? Oh!
See you in 30 years.